My mom loved to do that. She did lots of cross country on the train.
What's crazy?
Yeah,
Linen tablecloths, first class service.
yeah.
Some just have to sleep in a chair. But
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Not like you don't sleep in a chair
Yeah.
at home.
Good morning, everyone. I'll call the meeting to order. If we could rise to the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Oh, it's my opportunity to open us up this morning, and I would like to read a quote from former Supreme Court Justice Antonio Scalia on the importance of debate and dissent. And he said, "I'm something of a contrarian, I suppose. I feel feel less comfortable when everyone agrees with me. I say," and he emphasizes, "I better re-examine my position if that happens. I probably believe the worst opinions in my court have been unanimous because there's nobody on the other side pointing out all the flaws." Thank you very much. Roll call. Roll call.
Commissioner Howard. Commissioner Del Nesting,
Here.
Commissioner Heckman,
Here.
Commissioner Ruby,
Here.
Commissioner Scola.
Here. Thank you. Public comment, any public comment this morning? Okay, quiet group, all right. Okay, we'll move on. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented. Second.
Thank you. Move to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes, May 15 minutes. A motion to approve minutes unless there's some corrections.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. I'll support. Thank you. Move to support discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone opposed? Liaison or committee reports? Right?
I have one. So, the Antrim County Road Commission did a financial report, and as of December 31st, 2024, they had a balance of 4.6 million. Also, it was $600,000 for the ice storm damage that the road commission paid. Half of that went to Horn Logging, and the other half was the road commission themselves. Horn Logging is no longer working with the road commission. They went to Charlevoix County. With that being said, the foresight of Bert Thompson to hire them before they got hired by another county, I think was commendable. And I'd like to thank him for that.
Thanks, Rick. Yes.
Antrim Creek Natural Area met, and we are offering some activities and programs at the natural area this year. Couple that are going to be partnered with Grass River, and one of them with the Conservation District to observe and identify birds. And they will be posted on our website soon.
The only one I have is Grass River. Bill and I attended the ribbon cutting ceremony, and it was absolutely a wonderful program. There was tons of people there, a lot of positive input, and there was a lot of excitement. So the Grass River Board is looking forward to moving through with phase 3 and actually completing that project. So just FYI.
Thank you. And the only thing I'd say, Meadowbrook Mental Care Facility, as we all know, we passed a bond for Meadowbrook years ago. That bond runs through 2030. The Meadowbrook Board is beginning to have discussions to pay that off in 2027. So 3 years prior to its due date. Okay, moving on, doesn't look, no old unfinished business, new business, claims and accounts. Can I get a motion to approve claims and accounts?
I'll make a motion to pay claims and accounts of $134,769.35.
Thanks, Chairs. I will second that. Any questions on the bills? Yeah, right.
Couple questions, so I'm up to speed. I see sheriff's jail food, that's number 7, Spartan, and then there's 14. It says jail food. What's the difference?
So Spartan, they've had to run to the grocery store, pick something up. Those happen. We have switched over. Terry asked me about that prior to the meeting too. I will follow up and see why we're still getting anything out of Spartan or out of Cisco.
Okay. And then the other question I have is number 16. Just so I'm up to speed, with Grand Traverse County. Is that amount, do we pay this monthly
Yeah.
or we do pay this monthly?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But it's circuit and
It's circuit and district court combined, but it's their
Okay.
monthly cost, so that's
Okay.
all of the costs for it. Payroll and any of the others, so yeah.
Okay, good? Yep. Okay, it's been moved to second. No more. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Good morning, Jason. Moving into appointments and annual reports. As I think Margie has said, I've gotten a bad reputation for keeping everybody at 15 minutes on annual reports. I'll make that mention again, just to be consistent with all the departments. So we'll start with Rachel here with EDC.
Not here.
10:15. Well, can I have the ability to just MSU extend?
Yeah, you could.
Can I do
Yeah,
that?
that's fine.
Would you folks like to start early? Thank you.
Commissioners, I am at your discretion, so I
Thank you.
can be here early, I can be here late, so you tell me what you need me to do. So, and I know I see that Jeremy is pulling it up, so my time will begin when my presentation is up if possible. And I will do my very best within the 15 minutes. It's hard to choose all the great things that we want to feature, so. And again, my name is Jennifer Berkey, and I'm the District 3 Director for MSU Extension, and it's my distinct pleasure to be here today to present our annual report. And go ahead to the next slide. So again, I always like to remind the commissioners that I'm here today to present kind of a summary of our accomplishments, but I always like to remind you of how we're funded. We're funded in partnership by 4 different entities. We're funded by state, federal, local, county dollars, and with grants being the largest source of our funding. And typically the way our programming and funding works, that for every $1 invested in MSU Extension, it yields $6 in additional benefits back to the county at least. So next slide, please. So this is just a summary, and I know you have in front of you our written report, but this is just a summary of kind of the numbers of our report. Some of our more kind of storytelling information I'll share later. Last year, 212 unique programs were accessed by our residents, which means that basically every other day, one of your residents either access one of our programs either in person, online, potentially through a online video, or an in-person and in class that they've accessed over Zoom, or potentially a recorded environment as well. So again, that's just a nice example of that. Post-COVID, residents are accessing our programs in a variety of ways that best meets their needs. I kind of like to call it like MSU Extension on demand. So, and then last year we reached over 1,679 individuals through direct programming, where we collected demographics and we have their county of residence information. And then we also access people through unique page views of almost 21,000. So individuals accessing our programs, our news articles via our websites. So next slide, please. So agriculture is obviously some of the cornerstone of the work that we do in Antrim County, and these are some of the staff that work in that capacity. Next slide, please. And I'll be talking about their work through the next few slides. We were very privileged to host the MSU President's Tour at the Horticulture Research Station. He came up and he brought up a busload of faculty from across the state, which was a nice way to feature some of the benefits of what we do up north. So again, he brought researchers and faculty from around the state to learn more about what we do in Northern Michigan. So here's just some slides showing some of that opportunity and exposure. We also continue to work with our local growers on integrated pest management. So growers can access timely information based on weather, based on precipitation, when they should do those actual spraying moments so that they are more profitable and they end up having more results with some of the spray work that they're doing. The integrated pest management classes are done both Zoom and in person so that growers can maybe potentially do it from their smartphone sitting on their tractor or come to an in-person class if they want. Next slide, please. Chris Bardenhagen works with our local growers as well from a farm business management perspective. Profitability seems to be our biggest challenge. We want to keep our farmers growing because that's obviously the value of our rural community that we all choose to live in up here. And so Chris has been spending a lot of time working with growers on tax management issues as well as succession planning. He also has co-authored multiple cost of production studies, cherries, blueberries, chestnuts, and I believe that he also did one on apples as well. So again, those cost of production studies are helping growers make better choices when it comes to their profitability. And so Chris's impacts in our area are 9 area farms that he's worked with that represent almost $5 million in revenue. So again, him helping them become more profitable will help those growers in turn continue to do the work that they love to do and that we value in our community. Next slide, please. Farm stress and agribility is another piece of our farm work that we do as well. So I know I've shared this before at previous meetings, but suicide is with farmers is the number one employment sector of individuals that commit suicide. And so again, continue to work with our local growers to help manage their farm stress is important to us. We provide teletherapy services for them if they find that that's something that they would need. And again, that's done through grants and it's free of charge to those local growers. So if we have a grower that's in need, then we go ahead and refer them to that service. And they also can attend other classes supporting their emotional health as well. We also work with growers from an agribility perspective. Again, another grant funded position and activity where individuals that are having some maybe challenges with regards to their physical health, they can get accessibility changes so that they can continue to farm if that's something that they're passionate about. So it could be in a different type of seat in their tractor. It could be a lift. It could be a safer way for them to reach up and stretch if they're having some joint or arthritic issues. So again, agribility is another piece of work that we're doing with local growers as well. Next slide, please. We continue to work with our viticulture program with our Dirt to Glass Conference, as well as Orchard and Vineyard Show each year. So again, working with local growers, teaching them during their off season and saying, hey, what are best practices that you can do next year for the upcoming growing season is always important to us as well. Master Gardener, again, and I just want to give a special shout out to Katie and our Master Gardener community. So that front bed that you see as you walk in, that pollinator bed, that was done in partnership with administration facilities and our MSU extension staff and Master Gardeners, where we planted a pollinator bed post-construction. And thanks to Jeremy for his help with that as well. So that individuals that access the governmental center have this beautiful garden that they can enjoy as they walk through it. So again, just a special shout out. Last year, Master Gardeners, 309 Master Gardener hours were done in this community, which valued at 10,348 hours. Additional hours were done at Glacial Hills and other sites as well to work on pulling out invasives to help doing community beautification. Again, just a reminder with Master Gardeners, we don't go and obviously groom individuals' beds, their individual personal beds. It has to be an educational focus, a food gleaning, or a community beautification. So. Next slide. So 4-H again is a cornerstone of our youth development work, and we'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So obviously, I know many of you had a chance to experience some of the youth that came and participated in our leadership behind the scenes class, and many thanks to the county departments that opened up their doors and shared with these youth a chance to learn more about how to become engaged in their community. I know that the teacher shared that typically they only learn federal types of federal types of civics education. So for the youth to be able to come into the county departments and learn more about leadership and how to become more engaged in your county is an important thing. So they went to 11 different county departments. And again, this is a great partnership with the school where they have this educational field trip opportunity. So I just wanted to give a shout out for that. And there's some additional pictures of the youth participating in that senior seminar, visiting the different county departments, and obviously getting a nice photo op post meeting here as well. I also wanted to just share that some of the work that we did last year was around some of our livestock programs. So again, youth get a chance to raise an animal, take it to a fair, and then they get a chance to auction it. So the nice thing about what that effort was last year is that they had a chance to obviously practice all the different skills related to growing or selling a business product. So they get the chance to raise it. They have to do it profitably. They then have to market it. Then they have to find a buyer and all those related skills. So again, just a shout out to the youth that worked really hard last year. So within our nutrition education program as well, and Lene's here. And so we're excited. Thanks, Lene, for being here. I wanted to just raise up some of the work that she's done. So over the last year, there's been $4,500 in SNAP Ed grant dollars that have been awarded directly in Antrim County through 3 different projects. And you can see some of them featured here. So there's a hydroponic system at Cherryland Middle School, and the youth there learned how to grow and then grow herbs, lettuce, and edible flowers. And so again, those types of things that they integrated back into their food systems at the school. So they're learning those hands-on skills about learning to feed themselves, learning those valuable skills as well. So again, just a nice shout out for that. And then we also had an opportunity to work with the Moms and Tots Center where their grant rate purchased raised beds where those pounds of produce that were gleaned back and were given to the Moms and Tots Center to use through some of their food activities. But then they also donated back over 10 pounds of produce to the Ellsworth Food Pantry. So again, that's just another grant activity that was done. And the Little Food Library, I know Lene's been working very hard on that food library, and that's in partnership with multiple individuals as well, mainly the Elk Rapids Library. And so again, I know that they're hoping to do a grand opening later on this year, but it's another example of some of the efforts that some of our staff are doing to help reduce food insecurity in our area, where individuals can go to a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week open food pantry and access resources and foods that they need. And Lene does quite a bit of work in all the schools, and here's some of the work that she's done in the Anzalona schools. They have Healthy Hydration Day. So again, just focusing on drinking more water, how to eat healthy so that we all obviously are better learners by being hydrated and well fed. So again, just a thank you to Lene for her work as well. So we also like to work within fostering strong communities, and I know Mark and Parker do quite a bit of work in Antrim as well. So we'll go ahead to the next slide, please. So Product Center, just as a reminder, I know I share this every year, but our Product Center team, which is Parker Jones, as well as team staff on campus, we help businesses bring their idea from idea to marketplace. So we help them demystify and deregulate any sort of business idea that they have. And it's usually food or bio-based business. And these are Antrim County numbers. So there were 12 businesses that we worked with 41 counseling hours. Those businesses had total sale growth of 16,000, and the business annual total sales was 21.8 million, which affected 319 employees with 2 jobs retained and 1 new license secured. So again, just helping them kind of move that idea, because it can be tricky if you've got a situation where you don't know how to package something right, because it's a certain unique product. So we have campus specialists that will help them kind of work through those challenges. Agritourism is something that I personally tackled this last year. So again, working with our local agriculture, we want them to remain profitable. We want them to remain as a viable business in our area. So we launched an agritourism summit where we brought individuals from all across the state and beyond to come and teach and learn from each other about what is it that we can do to create a more agritourism friendly environment for our agriculture businesses. And last year we went up to Leelanau and we featured Leelanau businesses, but I don't want to give it away, but I have a spoiler alert coming about a great benefit for Antrim next. But again, this is something we're going to do in 2026 as well. Locally with our Sea Grant and local municipality work, Mark Breederland has been featured showing and showcasing the Bebot and Pixie drone, which teach the importance of collecting and not putting microplastics into our lakes and our natural resources. So we've got a drone that we received on a grant that goes and swoops into marinas and cleans the marinas. So as a learning opportunity, it's not being utilized by marinas to clean their marinas. It's utilized mainly as education. And then we have the B-Bot, which goes on sand and it collects and it shows people what's in the sand deep down. And again, it's not being used as exclusively to clean the sand, but just to show people the value and how we should not be obviously polluting our environments as well. And then there are some pictures of new Commissioner School as well. And I wanted to also thank Commissioner Scola because he's our Northern Michigan County's representative for MSU Extension. And I know previously, Jared, you were that as well. So thank you for attending those on behalf of Antrim County. So a quick little spoiler alert. I know the Little Free Food Library has kind of undergone some challenges with getting that in a permanent place, but I know they're having a meeting at the end of the month. So hopefully that will be opened. And then we've got our Orchard and Vineyard Show coming up. And then the Agritourism Summit will be featured with Antrim County businesses featured almost exclusively during our pre-show tour. So we have a 2-day event where we will be, day 2 will be learning kind of in a classroom setting, but day 1 will be visiting local businesses and they're all going to be Antrim County this year. So I wanted to just give you a little spoiler on that. And I know we didn't talk about our bags because we must have skipped that slide, but Corey, you want to go ahead and pass out bags. So one of the 4-H activities we did this year, we've been making reusable tote bags to give out at the Little Free Food Library. So we've been doing this in partnership with schools and our 4-H clubs. And we have a bag for all the commissioners so you can see the work that we've been doing. So thank you. Sorry, I know I talked really fast and I probably skipped some things. So I did my very best, Commissioner Heffernan.
Thank you.
And there's a little explanation of why the bag looks the way it does in your
Thank you.
commissioner bag. So be sure to take a look at that. So. But this is a nice bag effort that we're going to be staffing for the Little Free Food Library. So the residents that go and get their food, they can fill their bag with reusable totes. And we're getting all the t-shirts donated. So again, it's a sustainability. So. Any questions for me while I'm here? And I've stopped talking.
So we, some of the towns show agritourism, the definition of agritourism.
Yeah.
Do you have a good definition of agritourism?
Well, I'm probably not the best person to ask on that, but my definition would be that agritourism is an opportunity within the confines of planning and zoning, because again, planning and zoning dictates what businesses are allowed to do. So, but my definition would be to create an environment where agriculture products can be celebrated and featured in such a way where residents and others can learn about what the operations are of that business or some way to add value to what it is that they're doing. So it's a value added. Traditional agriculture is not profitable alone, just growing crops and selling them at market. So we're trying to teach local agriculture and work with our planning and zoning officials on what's the best practice so that we can do that in an ecologically way so that it meets obviously the planning and zoning requirements and respects the rights of the surrounding property owners. So that was our purpose of the summit, was to gather all those folks in the same room to have more increased understanding about what are the challenges local agriculture are facing to be profitable. What are ways that we can kind of create a situation and environment that meets planning and zoning and obviously meets the regulatory needs for those entities as well as the surrounding property owners. So it's a way for local agriculture to add value to become more profitable. Obviously, we don't want to have a circus down the street. That would not be in alignment with the goals and values of obviously like Antrim County and its residents. But what is it? Could it be homesteading? Could it be like what Homestead Cherries is doing up in Northport where they're doing farm stays? And I think Rocky Top is doing that as well. They've got like an Airbnb that they're doing some farm stays. Could it be like a farm market where people can come and potentially obviously have more access to buying locally grown foods? And could it be a way that they're marketing different things? Could it be like pies and charts and those kinds of things? It can be whatever it is imagined by that entrepreneur, which is the grower, in partnership with planning and zoning regulations.
Will you be sending us when the summit is? That's going to be.
For sure. And maybe
Okay.
it might be possible if you want to greet us at our first site, maybe someone from the board would be willing to be at our first site and welcome everyone to Antrim County. We had a sold out first day event last year in Leelanau. There was a lot of niche opportunities that you could only do by participating in the summit. We got to go into the cheese caves at the Leelanau Cheese Company, which was really super fun and cool. And then again, it was just a great eye-opening experience. I personally helped to kind of organize it, but I have staff that do a lot of the educational events because it's always good to surround yourself with people smarter than you. So I'm just good at kind of organizing some things and then folks kind of come in with that content matter expertise for sure. But yes, I will make sure that someone is there. And if you would like to greet the legion of folks that are coming, we would be glad to do that as well. But day one will be touring up Antrim County and many numerous sites that will be finalized in the next month here. And then day two will be more of like a classroom style environment at a conference center.
Fantastic. Thank you very
Yes.
much. The questions for? Thank you very much for your time. I
Yes, and
appreciate.
thank you again. As I always say, it's always our privilege. And thank you again for your partnership in allowing us to do this work. So thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
You get a motion to accept the annual
I'll make a
report?
motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Rachel's joined us. Good morning.
Been hot, I apologize for outlay. Work agenda done.
No, we were running ahead. You weren't late. We were running ahead. So
Right.
Jennifer was kind enough to get us started.
And I'm glad that she went first, because that is so much of what economic development like relies on in the county. So that's off my script, so. And I can see for a lot of things on your list. Good morning, my name is Rachel Crino, and I'm here on behalf of the Antrim County Economic Development Corporation to provide a brief summary of our 2024 activities and strategic progress. I don't have a slideshow for you today, but you do have the annual report that it looks like Jeremy's gonna walk through. Thanks. The EDC's mission is to retain, expand, and promote county-wide economic growth and stability. While we don't provide direct services, we act as a clearinghouse of information. We connect local business owners, chambers, municipal leaders with resources, opportunities, and subject matter experts. In 2024, the EDC remained focused on the 4 pillars of our strategic plan: organizational development, community and human services, business and economic development, and environmental stewardship. Organizationally, we were able to hold regular meetings with strong attendance and participation. We updated our bylaws for clarity and continuity. We continue to build partnerships with chambers, nonprofits, and economic development agencies. We drafted a 1-page business resource guide for new and DBA filings that will be shared through our clerk's office. So as they file their DBA, it will be a resource that they will receive. And the community and human services, we focused on housing, healthcare, access, and childcare. We welcome presentations from NMCAA and Housing North about housing repair and attainable housing tools like community land trusts. We heard from the Bel Air and East Jordan Family Health Center on the impact of workforce housing shortages. And notably, United Way introduced the Tri-Share Childcare Program, which splits childcare costs between the employee and the state. We see this as a promising tool for both talent retention and employer support. We'll continue sharing that information across the business community. It actually came up in Elk Rapids last week as a really exciting tool for businesses. So if you want more, I can get to that. From a business development standpoint, we explored ways to reconnect our business community through a revived business owner meeting program and potential workshops on business planning. This all in development for 25. We supported the development of a small business support hub led by NLEA and other partners across 10 counties. We continued efforts to identify redevelopment sites, including the Dura property in Mansalona. And we planned a public brownfield education session we're working on. We also did a plume presentation in 25, just right after the turn of the year. Broadband expansion remained a key priority. We submitted letters of support for BEAD and Robin grant applications, working with providers like TrueStream and Pigeon Telephone. Environmentally, the EDC reinforced the importance of preserving natural resources as part of our economic development lens. Topics like shoreline protection and sustainable development came up often in our discussions, and we continue to promote balanced use of our county's lakes, rivers, and trails. Looking forward, we plan to finalize the business resource one pager, the living document, right? Always updating. Host a joint chamber outreach event, working with our chambers to get us all in one spot, and develop a brownfield workshop, especially with the new housing aspect on it. We'll also continue engaging with regional and state partners, always with the goal of connecting people, places, and ideas that move Antrim County forward. Any questions? We are a connector, right? We bring everybody together. We're the listening ear. We're an attempt, everybody works in silos. We're an attempt to break down the silos and share information across.
You did a nice job of representing us in Elk Rapids last.
It was fun.
Absolutely. Appreciate it.
It was a good panel discussion. Lots of information shared. So,
Thanks, Rachel.
anything else?
No questions. Thank you. Okay. Motion to accept Rachel's annual report for us.
Make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Moving second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Yeah, thank you, Rachel. Let's see, it's Matthew.
You got called by the emergency, so it'll be a
Okay.
written only.
I'm sorry?
It'll be a written only then.
Okay,
I'll make a motion that we accept the Antrim County Airport's written report.
I'll second.
Okay, moved to second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Moving on, community corrections, fiscal year 2026 MDOC grant application, looking for a motion to approve the submission of the annual 13th Circuit Court Community Corrections fiscal year 2026 MDOC grant application and approve the attached resolution.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Okay, so you moved and supported.
In case you had any.
How are you? Anything you'd like to add?
No, my name's Sheree Shipe. I'm the manager of the Community Corrections Department. I just came in case you had any questions.
This is an ongoing, we do this every year, right?
Yeah.
And Shrees, if you would just correct page 6 on your Jason was our representative last year.
That's already been corrected.
Ray is our, in my packet, it says Jason.
It does.
Thank
That has already been corrected to the grant that I submitted to the state of Michigan. It's already been corrected on that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Please, Commissioners.
Yeah, could you? I'm on page 10 of our packet. It's your proposal page. And it talks about your amounts. Could you just briefly summarize what's involved in the pretrial supervision and also the pretrial assessment?
Right. So what our pretrial department does is we work only with the felony population. So those that are arrested. I have staff that brought them today with me. I have staff that go into the jails or they do video calls with them. Everybody who has been arrested before they do their first appearance before a magistrate or a judge. They run a criminal history on somebody and they do a pretty good investigation of a person so that they can then with what is the praxis assessment is provide the magistrate or the judge that are going to be seeing the individual with a picture of them at that time of their criminal history, where they're working, where they're living, if they have any mental health issues, if they have any medical issues. And it's a report that recommends whether or not they are eligible for a personal recognizance bond, so PR bond, or whether or not they should have a financial bond or no release. There's a certain population that is eligible for no release. And that report also indicates what kind of conditions that they would recommend that the person, if they are released from jail, they be required to follow. So that could be drug testing, alcohol testing. One of the most significant ones are if there are any protected people. So we supervise any GPS placements on an individual, and then we supervise them while they're out of jail with the GPS on them. And any conditions that the court would order, will recommend that on that order, and they are free to take our recommendations or they're free to do whatever they want. For the most part, courts usually take our recommendations because we do a really good, thorough investigation of an individual and have a pretty good picture of where they're at, where they're standing that day before the court. So if somebody is then released from jail, that's the pretrial supervision portion, and that is the individuals that my staff supervise their conditions and supervise where, if they have a GPS, where they're allowed to go, where they're not allowed to go. We have a small population that is on house arrest. And so those are individuals that are not allowed to leave their home without permission of our staff and of the judges. And so that's a pretty intensive supervision program that we have for that. So those are the two that we do with the pretrial population.
And then just a follow-up, work release, community service. Do it, I mean, I know Antrim County hasn't done work release since COVID. What about, you work with a couple other counties. Are there other counties that are doing this, starting it up, or?
None of the counties have started doing it since COVID. When, prior to COVID, there's a state law that states if somebody is charged with a felony case, if an individual is granted work release, they have to be on a GPS for supervision. That relates to an individual, downstate that had committed a murder when they were on a work release. And so there's a state law that states that. Our department used to supervise that population for each of the counties. And none of that has started back up since COVID. And community service work is done through the courts, and that's either supervised by the probation department, or there's a staff person that supervises service work. That's not done through our department.
And do you see value in work release? When you supervised it in the past.
I do see value in it. It is also, I wouldn't say confusing. It is if you want to do work release correctly, it has to be staffed appropriately. So I will tell you that I'm not speaking of Antrim County, I'm speaking of all three counties. I've seen circumstances where individuals were supposed to be at work and they're not at work. Individuals who stated that they had a job, they don't have a job, they're not working. And so if a jail is going to do work release, it needs to be done in a meaningful and appropriate way. There were a couple of the different counties who had asked our department in the past to take that over. That would mean hiring more people to do that. It's not something that we could do with the staffing that we have. It is something definitely that our department can do. We're good at that. We're good at supervising individuals in lieu of jail. If somebody is gainfully employed, when they're incarcerated, that stops an awful lot, right? So it is a detriment to their families. It is a detriment to them in keeping their jobs. But if a county doesn't have the ability to supervise somebody adequately on work release, then it shouldn't happen. And I think that was noticed during COVID. So I have a mixed opinion on that, whether it's a value, but yes, it needs to be done appropriately.
We employ district court probation staff as well. What is it that you provide that's different than the probation staff?
So the individuals that we work with are not typically on probation yet. We come in before somebody is convicted of a crime. We also don't supervise those population that are charged with a misdemeanor. So district court probation deals with the misdemeanor population. We don't work with those individuals on bond. That is another staff person that is employed through district court. So community corrections has our own budget and our own staffing. We're actually a part of, it's very confusing. We're a part of the circuit court and the district court. And so we service both courts, but we don't supervise the misdemeanor population before they're sentenced. And then once they're sentenced to probation, and there's those probation officers that handle that. That's not our department. So we handle the felony profile population. So that's those that are charged with anything get be sent to prison, and that's through circuit court. And then we also have a jail alternative program that is after sentencing for both district court and circuit court. But those are individuals are in jail. And so we can supervise them in an in lieu of jail program. But we are not probation officers.
How many clients do we have in Antrim County right now?
Hold on a second. Actually, I did that out here. So right now we have, like I said, the two different populations. We have our pretrial population and we have our jail alternative population. Those on pretrial supervision right now, we have 26 individuals. And those in our jail alternative program, we have 8. So that's the different type of people we are working with. We're not, again, the probation department.
So you supervise these folks, primarily the circuit court folks, until they're assigned to the Department of Corrections if they're convicted.
Correct.
Any other questions? Right.
Yeah, Sharice, you and I met, Friday, this past Friday at the courthouse, and thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I had said something, that I was told that 59% of the arrestees that the county comes in contact with have either a mental health, disorder, substance abuse, or both. And you stopped me there and you said something very interesting, and, can you tell me what you said?
So statistics actually show that those that are involved in the justice system is between 80 and 90% of those individuals have a substance use disorder or mental health disorder.
Yeah, because that's kind of what I thought too. It was surprising to me. Also, when we were going over the numbers, and obviously, I know this is, 3 counties, Grand Traverse, Antrim, Leland. But the amount of people that Community Correction Services now, back in 2019 through 2020, it was for pretrial was 382. Last year went up to 629. And then this year, as of May, you told me, it was 487 people, and you're on pace to get close to 800 or so. That's a big increase.
It
A
is.
big increase.
So actually I ran those numbers yesterday morning. There were 492 up through the end of May
Okay,
that we have seen.
so I think you guys do, for as short staffed as you are, I think you do a very good job. Also, and if you even know the answer, can possibly answer it, but with the possibility in the near future of Antrim County consolidating courts, how will that could it affect community corrections?
So that is actually a decision that you as a board would have to make. So let me back this up. Our services start in the district court. Even if somebody is charged with a felony, all court cases start in the district court. So if you broke away and would become the 99th district court, those new arrestees all will start in the district court. They are then bound over to the circuit court, which will continue to be the 13th circuit court. And I work for that court as well. And so I don't anticipate that would again be your decision, but I would not anticipate that anything really with our department would need to change. It would need to change who the judges that we work with, the processes that would need to change, but I don't anticipate not doing that service because we'll still have to provide those same services once they're bound over to circuit court. And it would make no sense to me to bring in another person or people that are going to be doing it in the 99th district court and then handing it off to us as well. I am the type of person that I don't borrow trouble. I'm doing nothing different. My grant application didn't ask for anything different based on what might happen in the future. I'm operating as status quo and not planning to have any changes. But again, when that time comes, that will be a decision this board has to make as to whether or not you want to contract with our services to continue going forward.
Any other questions? Okay, there was a motion in a second. Thank you very much.
You're
There was a motion in a second, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you. Moving on, Sheriff's Department, submitted.
Bill, I don't. Page 11, it says a resolution. If that's the case, maybe we need a roll call. I don't.
Yeah, you do. Thank you again, Sheriff. Thank you very much. And Nat, could you give us a resolution on that, please? Could you give us a roll call vote on that, please?
Commissioner Heffron,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
Yes.
Commissioner Hellwig,
Yes.
Commissioner Ruby,
Yes.
Commissioner Scola.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks, Nat. Okay, now, I'm good now. Moving on. Sheriff's Department submitted by Under Sheriff Lassiter, budget amendment battery cameras. Looking for a motion to approve the release of funds for 23 GTAC body cameras in the amount of $35,719 from Bright, with funds to come to Capital Outlay Reserve Fund, and authorize the finance director to make the appropriate budget amendments as follows. As written.
I'll make.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any questions? We went over this at the CIP just last week. Don't need a roll call. Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. Dining out contract submitted by Paula from COA. Paula is with us today. If there's any questions, looking for a motion to authorize the board chair to sign the proposed dining out contract between the Antrim County Commission on Aging and the BC Pizza Bel Air, Boyne, and East Jordan locations.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second,
I'll support.
moved to second discussion.
That's been a long ongoing process and Paula took the bull by the horns and got this thing. Worked with the people that own BC Pizza and hammered this out. It was a lot of back and forth and she did a great job with that. That's all I got on it.
Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, I've had a couple of constituents that have asked about this because we've discussed this before. So that the $8, it'd be $4 for the senior and then the COA would subsidize $4. Is that correct?
Excuse me, yes, through the millage.
And then is that a meal at the BC Pizza or is that one pizza or how does that work?
No, it's a meal and, should you approve this, then BC Pizza in those 3 locations will put a little menu together for what they can get for that. And if they order something over and above the $8, then they'd have to pay for that themselves.
And
So
then,
it usually is a salad bar and some other kind of item.
okay, and then my other question is, it said in here, I didn't write the page down.
But your board is discussing how many times they could use it. a month.
Right.
Have you,
We haven't
finalize
had
that
that
yet?
discussion yet. I think we need to, because it can get very costly. And that was a caution that we were given by Kalkaska County is we should come up with a limit of sorts for each individual.
Other questions? Moved and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Moving on, also from submitted by Paula, I look for a motion to authorize the Commission on Aging Director to execute the service agreement between the COA and the Continental Linen Services pending legal review.
Make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, I'll support.
Moved and seconded. Any questions for Paula? Any comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. very much. Thank you, Paul. Moving on, County Administrator's Report. Questions for Jeremy? No questions for Jeremy? Okay.
I do. It relates to what we talked about with the consolidated courts number 3. I had a constituent that said they'd recently met with Senator DeMoose and he said that they'd had like 4 or 5 bills that the Senate has even taken up so far this year. And it just seems like this is one of those things that doesn't have to be partisan. It seems like we could move this forward. Is any word on getting this in front of?
Yes, so it is still at Legislative Services Bureau, but we were given the notice yesterday that is expected to be out of that by the end of the week, which means it can then be introduced. Speaking with our representatives and with our Michigan Association of Counties staff, it is highly recommended at this point, given the structure of our legislature, that it be introduced in the House. Well, introduced both, but it's much more likely that it moves quickly or efficiently, at least through the House, and more likely that the Senate would pass it than starting at the Senate and the House would pass it. That's just the dynamic right now. So
we're adapting and talking to everybody involved.
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
On 911 tower, are we closer to getting the electric there? I mean, obviously the storm backed us up, but
So, yesterday I lit some fires, to see what came out and, I think there was a little bit of a dishonesty with one of our subcontractors, and so that's, being dealt with.
the other one I have is number 11. With the township supervisor resigning, are we in need of doing our homework to see if we can get another township supervisor to sit on the materials management board?
It does not have to be a supervisor, but it does have to be a township representative.
Okay.
But yes,
An
we will
elected
need-
official, okay. Great. That's all I got on mine.
All right, Brad.
Pretty much as written, the one piece to point out, during, this time, we did get an email from DNR saying that the marine safety grant had been suspended. I wrote, and what's happening has happened with it. The federal side looks like it's suspended, but the state side will continue. Right after, the day after I submitted this, I got an email from the DNR, if you're still interested, reapply. I think that we'll probably get a reduced amount. I don't know if it'll be half or similar, but that's what I know right now. So yeah, the reapplication has been sent in, so.
Okay, everybody good with that? I mean, Brad did approach, Brad did certainly call me when that came, that email came, the sheriff as well. We spoke, and my suggestion, Brad, was to continue to keep us informed. As we move forward. So, good.
Perfect. Good
Okay.
job.
Chairman's report, I just want to point out that I made a mistake. Lake Level Committee, which thank you, Terry, thank you, Ray, for volunteering to be on that with Leslie, talking to Jeremy. It's not a formal committee appointment, which I thought it was going to need everybody's consent to that. That's not necessary, that Terry and Ray have volunteered for it, and it's not a formal appointment. Am I putting that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so that's why that wasn't on our agenda to formally appoint you guys on that. Any other various matters, Jason,
I'm good.
Terry,
No, good.
Ray? Cheers.
Yeah, North Country Community Mental Health, our next meeting is June 19th. Finance meeting starts at 2:30. The regular meeting is at 3 o'clock. And we've had ongoing discussions about GTI, so if any folks would like to come, the meetings are at the North Country offices in Petoskey. It's right across the street from Walmart, so they are open to the public.
I appreciate it, Jared, because we all did receive that letter from a group of concerned folks, and I know they watch us, I believe, and listen to us. So now they will know when that community mental health meeting is. So great. Anything else? That's public comment today. No public comment today. All right, okay. We're adjourned by order of the chair. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.